Is there a cheaper alternative to Keepa? The problem with looking for a cheaper alternative to something like Keepa is that you aren't going to find a platform with as much data at your fingertips. Keepa scrapes millions, if not billions, of products across Amazon, and there aren't many companies that can handle that kind of scale. To give you some perspective, think about how vast Amazon's catalog is. We're talking about every product, every variation, every marketplace across multiple countries. The amount of data that's being collected every single minute is mind-blowing. It's not just about price tracking. We're also talking about sales rank, stock levels, reviews, and more. That's a lot of information to keep track of in real time. So naturally, it's no small feat to offer a reliable tool for this, which is why Keepa has become such a dominant player. The only competitor that ever came close to Keepa was Camel. Now, if you've been in the Amazon selling space for a while, you've probably heard of it. It used to be quite popular back in the day, but even though it came close to Keepa, it never really cut it. Why? Well, the price tracking feature was something people complained about in reviews all the time. They'd say the data didn't match what was actually happening on Amazon. This might sound like a minor issue, but when you're an Amazon seller, accuracy is everything. If you're working off old or incorrect data, you could be making business decisions that end up costing you money. And this is mostly because Camel didn't have the same infrastructure in place. Things like server power and the scripts necessary to pull data in real time from Amazon's massive catalog. Think about it. You're asking for real-time data from one of the largest e-commerce platforms in the world. It's not a small ask. It's ambitious. And even big companies struggle with this kind of scale. So, like Amazon has a monopoly on e-commerce, Keepa has a monopoly when it comes to Amazon data. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so if Camel doesn't work and Keepa's too expensive, what am I supposed to do? Well, that's exactly where I'm going with this. If you can't use Camel because it's just not reliable and Keepa seems pricey, what choice do you have if you're looking for a cheaper alternative? There are companies out there that pay to use Keepa's data through something called an API. Now, this is where it gets a bit technical, but stick with me. An API is like a bridge that allows one system to pull data from another system. These companies pay thousands each month to Keepa to access the exact same data that Keepa has to offer. So, in essence, these companies use Keepa's data to build their own tools and platforms. A few companies I know personally use Keepa's data to create similar types of graphs and insights. Helium 10 is one of the most well-known ones. You've probably heard of Helium 10 if you've been selling on Amazon for any amount of time. But here's the catch. Helium 10 isn't exactly cheap either. It starts at around $30 plus tax per month, which for some sellers still feels like a lot, especially if you're just starting out. But there are other options. One tool that comes to mind is FBA multi-tool. Now, this tool offers a built-in Keepa graph, so you can still access the Keepa data without paying the full Keepa price. It only costs $13.95, and honestly, if you look around, you'll probably find discounts to get it even cheaper. So while it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Keepa has, it's a decent option if you're on a budget. But let's be real, Keepa is still the king when it comes to Amazon data. It offers a lot more than just price history. You can track things like stock levels, sales ranks, even the number of reviews a product is getting over time. You're not going to find another tool that matches it exactly, and if you want access to all these features, Keepa is your best bet. However, if all you're really after is a price history graph, or just a way to quickly check if a product is worth selling, then there are options out there. Tools like FBA Multi-Tool give you a solid middle ground, good data without the hefty price tag. So, in summary, while Keepa holds the crown, it really depends on what you need. If you're just getting started or looking for something to track price history without breaking the bank, you've got options like FBA Multi-Tool. But if you're serious about diving into all the Amazon data available, there's no substitute for Keepa.